you know, verbatim break it down. So yeah, on point
Yeah,
with that.
you're breaking up slightly.
Yeah, I'm in a bad area, but I was saying,
Okay.
yeah, I just came in the room, so I heard you verbatim breaking it down again, but you're on point with that. So
Yeah, yeah. I
we
mean,
agree.
like the fact is that the dietary laws are and was always, the law, right? You can't go eating what you want. I mean, you can, but there's consequences for doing that action, right? That unlawful action. So he wanted to move on to the virgin birth. So, what are your thoughts on that?
To my knowledge and understanding, King, I don't believe in the virgin birth.
Why not?
Uh,
If I could ask, why not?
why not? Matthew's, you were just going to say Matthew's 1 explains verbatim. If it was a virgin birth, why would they explain the genealogy of Christ? Who meant?
Okay, okay. So, I think that's a good question, and it's actually answered in Matthew 1. So, I want to just read 2 verses only. Okay, I'm not sure if you got your Bible or not, but I'm going to read verse 1. Okay, so verse 1 it says, "The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham." So you agree clearly that this is the generation of Christ, right?
Yes, sir. I totally agree.
Right. So
I
now,
agree with the scripture.
right. So when you skip all the way down to verse 17, it reads, "So all the generations." So we're still talking about generations, and we're talking about of Christ. It says, "So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon until Christ are 14 generations." So now it just sectioned off the generations in 3 parts, right? But it's still Jesus Christ generation. So it doesn't change. So now, my question for everybody and you is that, well, since you're talking, do you know how a generation is counted in Matthew chapter 1?
To my knowledge, I'm still, like I said, I'm still grasping everything to learn myself. So
Okay.
I don't know how it's counted. But if you can explain that, brother, go ahead.
Yeah, no, actually, you do know, believe me. And once I say it, you're going to agree right away. So a
All right.
generation is passed from a parent to a child, right? So if somebody go childless, they don't have a generation after them. Like they are the last generation of their parents, but there's nobody to precede them, like to come after them. It's over, right? So a generation is going to be a parent to a child. So once a parent has a child, that child starts the new generation. You agree?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, right. Because when you go to verse 2, it starts off with Abraham begot Isaac. So now Isaac and Abraham is one generation. And then Isaac has a child. So Isaac begot Jacob. That's the second generation. And then it goes to Jacob has a child, Judas, and that's the third. So in verse 2, we have 3 generations. We got father, son, father, son, father, son. And it doesn't have to be father. It just got to be a parent and an offspring. That's all. So somebody has to continue the lineage. And if you continue the lineage, then we have a generation. So if you look at from Abraham all the way down to 16, you'll keep seeing a parent and a son. And from verse 2 to 16, nearly all the parents are males until it gets to verse 16. Now, verse 16 is the tricky part that you might have overlooked or underlooked. I'll read it. It says, "And Jacob begot Joseph." So now Joseph and Jacob is a generation. So the generation so now I'm going to insert this. Partners are Jacob and Joseph. In order for it to be a generation, you need generational partners. You need a child and a parent. So we got Jacob and Joseph. And let me know if I'm breaking up. And then it said Joseph was not married, so his status married. His son was born Jesus. give Mary and Jesus generational status, generational partnership. It does not give Joseph a generational partner. So if you read from verse 2 to verse 16, everybody has a generational partner. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you kind of was breaking up. Can you hear me? Can I be heard?
Yeah.
All right, you was kind of breaking up a little bit. So you saying that Joseph doesn't have a generational partner?
No.
Matthew 1, you said that because it's not explaining who Joseph's father is. That's what you're saying?
No. So I'm saying Joseph and Jacob in verse 16. Joseph and Jacob make the generation because you have a parent and a son, or parent and offspring.
Right.
But then it says Mary. It says Mary, of whom was born Jesus. So it gives Mary and Jesus generational partnership. It just says Joseph is married to Mary. But it does not give Joseph a generational partner.
Oh, but the scripture like that?
Well, I didn't hear you. Say that again.
I say, but do you have the understanding on why is Mary even mentioned? Because like how you were saying, hold on, I got you, because like how you were saying now, the child is conceived of the generations. If we understand in Numbers chapter 1 that the genealogy comes from the father.
Right. But 118 only speaks about boys from 20 years older. So this wouldn't apply to Jesus. Right. Jesus is a fresh born baby. So this Numbers 118 only apply to 20-year-olds, adults. It does not apply to adolescents or kids.
Wait. You saying it doesn't?
No. 118 specifically.
Can we go there to prove that? Can you go there to me, please, brother?
I heard that before on a video. So I'm gonna take you there right now. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Now, because you bring it up slightly, or it might be me. I don't know. So it says, but if I'm breaking up, just stop me immediately. It says Numbers 118. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families, but the house of their fathers, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upward by their posts. So this has absolutely nothing to do with Jesus. He's a born baby. So this is dealing with adults. Kids are not in this equation at all.
So how do we determine your ethnicity background, and if that doesn't determine?
No.
That's
so
you saying it's just for Jesus, or it's for all children, not just male and female children?
Well, Numbers 118 was trying to assemble boys to go to war. So it was establishing. Say it again. You got to repeat that. You're breaking up. Yeah, I'll wait because I think you're in a bad area.
Yeah, I understand because it didn't. Can you hear me?
Say it again.
I said I understand what they're saying because it ain't talking about sending the children off to war. But so what I was asking you is, so is that saying that, because we know it's like through the genealogy, so how do you get your genealogy if you don't go by the description of your father or who your mother is?
Yeah, well, we don't read that. Like there's nowhere in the Bible it says only by the father from when a kid is born. It talks about 20 years and older, and then it says the context is war. But like there's no verse that says that when the baby's born, the father determines any of the outcome. But regardless to that, because like that's like going fast forward. If we go, because Genesis chapter 1 we read says that this is the generation of Christ, right? So Numbers 118 right at this point is irrelevant because this is telling you that this is the generation of Christ. And then verse 17 breaks it down to 3 parts. Okay. And everybody have a generational partner. And it only lists Jesus' mother, Mary. It lists Joseph as a son of Jacob, and it lists Joseph as a husband of Mary. But there is nothing in Matthew's 1 that says Joseph is the father of Jesus.
It's not staying down, King.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute up. I'm listening to you, beloved.
Okay. So if you just could hear me clear, so you know where I'm coming from. So from verse 2 all the way to 16, it literally says, this guy had this son. This guy had this son. And sometimes the mother is even introduced. Like it says, Judah had Phares and Zara with the mother of the child, which is Tamar, right? So sometimes the mother's introduced. But whether she's introduced or not, it always say the father begot the son. Until you get to verse 16, when it comes to Joseph, he is only begotten. He has not begot anybody. And then it says that Mary gave birth to Jesus. So Joseph is literally, like, it's undeniable. Joseph is literally the only man, only parent. Forget about man. He's the only parent who has no child. It does not say Joseph begot Jesus like it do for the other guys. So he's the only man, the only parent, or not even parent, because he's not a parent, the only person, the only adult to not be attributed to a kid. And like, we can't, neglect that because everybody else, like, there's no shadiness, there's no confusion. It says Abraham begot Isaac. So we clearly know Abraham has a child. It says Isaac begot Jacob, right? We know he has a child. Jacob begot Judas. Judas had a child. So Salathiel, Zerubbabel, Eliu, Abiu, everybody had a child in clear language except for Joseph. He's just married and he's a son of Jacob. So I found that interesting. Like, how do we give him a child when Matthews doesn't give him a child? And don't forget, this is the generation of Christ. So if Jesus is going to have a father, it's going to be here in Matthew's 1. So we can't say, okay, Joseph don't have a son in his in his son's genealogy, but somewhere else he's the father. It's like, no, you got to be the father here. This is the paternity test. I think you agree with that, right?
I mean, I have an understanding of where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
But I'm still conceding that Joseph is the father. Like, yes,
okay.
there it should. What I'm saying is, because you saying that it's not in Matthew chapter 1, right?
Right. The most important place, because this is the genealogy, the generation of Christ. So it has to be here.
Right.
And it's not there.
So you're saying that because it's not there, that Joseph is not Jesus' father.
Well, in all genealogies, right? If you go to Genesis chapter 5, it talks about the generations of Adam, right? And then you have then you have Ishmael, who has a generation. You have like different people in First Chronicles to give you everybody there. Bro, if you're not in the generation of that said person, then you're not in the generation. Like that is the record. And second Ezra tell you that if you're not there, you're not there, because there were some Levites who were not in the record of Levites, and they were thrown out of the Levitical priesthood because they were not in the record. So if you're not in the record, you have no claim. So that's the angle.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do my due diligence to look further into that, because like you're saying, because you're saying if we stay in like I keep trying to say that, if we stand in Matthew chapter 1, like how I said in the genealogy, it should say that Joseph is the the son of Hamashiach.
So do
But
you have somewhere else that says that? Do you so forget it. So let's expand it. Let's not limit to the Matthews one. Do you have anything else that says it?
I mean, as far as saying that Joseph is the son of, I mean, is the father of Jesus.
Yeah, any clues. I don't care what it is. Any clues.
Yeah, I mean, let's go to who was it? What's it?
Oh, you have an accent. Are you from the South? I can't even hear you.
Yeah, I'm from Florida.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Your state stay on the news, bro. Be safe out there, man. Yo, you got the wildest state in America, bro. Hands down. I don't know if you're talking. If you are, we can't hear you, but you have the wildest state in America. All these trials that we're watching, these live trials, Florida, all the way back to Trayvon and Zimmerman. So, brother, if you are talking, we cannot hear you. So I don't know if it's my connection because my connection was unstable. I don't know if it's your connection, but if you can hear me, then it's your connection. But if you can hear me, I cannot hear you. Are you there?
Yeah, hold on, brother. I'm kind of like in a
Okay.
bad area, and I'm looking
Oh,
for
yeah,
for the scripture.
Yeah. To take your time.
Yeah, what were you saying though? You were saying something about my accent.
Yeah. I said I learned you was from Florida. I said, bro, be careful out there, man. Listen, I know you guys have the stand your ground, castle doctrine, but bro, I don't know you, but I'm saying really read into your self-defense laws because a lot of Floridians they don't read into it and they think certain actions are self-defense and it's not. And this is why they're going to jail for like 20 years because that's not self-defense. You have to so really in real short, self-defense in your state, it literally means you have to believe your life is in jeopardy. So, bro, there's no warning shots. You have to shoot to kill. If you shoot, it has to be to kill. If you shoot for a warning shot, you're going to prison. Come. Okay, so you might know that. I don't know. Maybe you don't. But I know a lot of our people don't know that. And like they shoot for in the air, they shoot in the ground, and they're going to prison. You have to shoot to kill. If you believe you can only shoot your gun to kill in any state in America, you have to shoot to kill. You cannot shoot to scare off. You're going to prison if you do that.
Yeah, I agree with that because I have a cousin who just a couple years back had an incident like that where he had to defend himself and he had to kill another brother.
Yeah, you damn right.
And he had his gun license and stuff like that.
Of
course, he went to jail or whatever for like a couple. I think he was in there for like a couple months, man.
Right.
But he ended up getting out though.
Right. Because he beat it. You know, he was only in jail because he probably couldn't fill his afford his bond, but he beat it. And like that's the whole important thing. You know, he beat it. And a lot of us don't understand it. So your cousin did the right thing. Had your cousin shot a warning shot, bro, he'd be in prison. And he'd have lost his right to carry and defend himself from that point on. So, you know, a lot of us, you know, I could tell by your voice, you're black, I'm black. A lot of us don't really read anything, let alone the Bible or the laws of the state. But yeah, man, your state, yeah, I watch y'all people on YouTube and they go to prison for letting off warning shots. You cannot do that. Kill his ass and then If you're right, you're going to be freed. If you were wrong, you're going to jail. Real simple. For 20 years. Yeah. So that's a sidebar. I just want to say, if Florida, like I would love, I'm in Jersey. I would love to have Florida self-defense laws. I love you guys' laws, man. The castle doctrine, stand your ground doctrine, that's beautiful. That's a God law right there. Like God had to ordain that law because it's telling you like you don't got to flee from an aggressor. You could take his bitch ass out. You know what I mean? So I like that because Jesus Christ told his disciples, he said, yo, if you were of me, you will fight. You are all running. When it came to subdue him, he said, yo, if you was really of me, you would have fought. You would have ran. So Jesus Christ is about standing your ground. You know, that castle doctrine. That's what he was about. So, yeah, so I love the Florida laws, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
All praises, all praises. All right, let's check it out. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 2 and start at, what is that, 16? We can start at 14. Y'all got readers on here, or are we reading our scriptures ourselves?
Yeah. So I'll read it. So you said Luke chapter 2, verse 14?
No, Hebrews chapter 2.
Gotcha.
Hebrews chapter 2,
Hebrews
14 to 16. 16 is my point, though.
Okay. All right. I'll do that for you. So 14 says, for as much then as the children of partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil. Amen. 15.
Okay. Question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
All right. 14. 14 just said, for as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself, who's the himself right
here? That's Jesus.
Okay. Continue to read, brother.
Oh, yeah. So verse 15, it says, and delivered them who are through fear of death, were all their lifetime subject to bondage. I love that verse right there, verse 15.
Done.
Okay, verse 16. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham.
It says what?
But he took on him the seed of Abraham.
Right, and not of angels, right?
Facts.
And this still talking about Christ, right? I'm just trying to get
Christ, the Messiah. The Messiah,
okay.
100%.
Right. So, but I see what you're saying, though. It still doesn't say that Joseph is the father, but it's saying that he come from the seed.
And I agree. Go ahead.
So I'm just trying to understand too. Like I said, I don't know everything, brother. I'm still growing up, learning.
Yeah.
And I try to stay around, study brothers, man.
Yeah.
You know, and then all the brothers too don't be right all the time. We get corrected, and that's fine. So
I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot, but see, a real person, a real man of God, will accept he's wrong and make that adjustment to don't be wrong twice. Okay, trust me. For me, it's been a growing experience for me. Okay, so now the statement, the seed of David. Okay, so I mean the seed of Abraham. So I understand that to be the lineage, the descendants, the offspring of Abraham. So when I read verse 2:16, but he took on him the seed of Abraham, that means that he took on the Abraham, children, like outside, because he had Isaac, he had Ishmael. Ishmael was not part of the promise, right? Isaac was. So when I read this, it just telling me Jesus took on the Isaac son, not Ishmael.
Right. That's a cool tower.
Yeah.
it's lucky I'm out here playing with the kids at a little water event.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'm always,
right. Look, that's the best time to have a conversation because you are in a righteous, joyful spirit. You know, because Jesus Christ always said, you know, protect the kids. So you are in a you're in the right spirit to have this conversation.
all praises, all praises. But yeah, man, that was a good, a good question you asked about, well, a statement that you made about, Matthew's 1, because Matthew's 1 is pretty much, like I say, I'm a learning and growing to my nationality. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, brother.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, Khan, all praise. So from what I'm understanding is that we go to Matthew's 1 to prove that Christ comes from the seed of man, because David is a part of the lineage of Joseph, and also, you know what I'm saying, Jesus Christ. So it's
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It doesn't say it there, which I agree with you totally on that. But I just don't. So I just want to understand it. I don't want to build a premise on you. So you believe in immaculate conception or no?
No, because the immaculate conception talks about Mary being like perfect and sinless. I disagree with that.
Okay, All right, cool. So we have that
so
same
now,
understanding.
but what I agree with is that Mary had Jesus as a virgin. So now listen to my logic. Right. Now hear my logic. My logic is that how can Jesus was here before mankind. So that means that no man can get credit for Jesus' existence. Like he was here before all of us. Man was not a thought. Right. So two mortal beings can't give birth to a Messiah. They can't, that just can't happen. So Jesus came in miraculously, right? Through the birth. Now check this out. Then he did miracles. His whole entire walk, he did miracles. Yeah, just let me know when you're ready. I'll wait for you.
All right, Salaki, King, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Trust me, I understand. This is Father's Day. You dig? So just listen to this. So Jesus Christ was born of a miracle birth. And as a result, he performed miracles during his walk. Then he even died. He even died in a miraculous way. So there was nothing about him that was human-like. You know what I mean? He came as a miracle. He performed miracles. And then he left in a miraculous way. This dude died and came back. He actually talked like his disciples couldn't believe it. They're thrusting his side, they're grabbing his arms. They thought he was a ghost. Yeah. So everything about our Messiah was miraculous. Like nothing about him was like normal. And if you think about our God, the Most High is like coveted amongst the Gentiles. Like they want him so bad because he performs miracles. So everything about our Messiah and Father is miraculous. And that's why the Gentiles and strangers covet and want him so bad. Cause they like, hey, if you don't want them, we'll take them. If y'all think these guys are if y'all think these miracles are bullshit and these are just mortal men, we'll take them because we know what they can do. And this is why during the time of Isaiah, every time Israel messed up, he placed them in the midst of Gentiles because Israel never appreciated God's miracles that he did for them, but the Gentiles did. They always wanted him for themselves. So when the two spies came to Jericho, what did Rahab say when she seen a spy? She said, I heard about your God, how he delivered you from Egypt. So know how powerful the Most High is. The problem was Israel never respected that. So everything about Jesus was miraculous, bro. Nothing about him was normal. That's why he's the Messiah. And I think about this. Now, when Saul became king, do you remember how he became king? Yeah, I know you're on mute with the kids, but once you get off mute, I want you to see if you know how did Saul become king? Because even the way Jesus Christ became king was different. He didn't become king like everybody else. He became king a whole different way, a miraculous way. Okay. Okay. So once you're back, I will explain how he became king different than every king. Every king. I mean, every last king. Jesus became a king different than everybody. So there was nothing about, so Jesus Christ, unbeknownst to a lot of people, he was not supposed to show us how to do anything, right? He came to do what he had to do. And then he left us with a duty. Okay. And that's why he told us that we must, and actually he didn't tell us, really, Apostle Paul told us in 1 Corinthians 15, when it said we must put on our spiritual body. So if we want to be Christ-like in any sense, we got to put on our spiritual body.
Right.
Right. So that I was asking you this. I said, when King Saul became king, do you know his requirements?
Oh, for him to be king, or for him to be while he was in rulership?
When he became king, do you know why he became, like, his requirements to become king?
His requirements for him to become king?
Yeah. So who appointed him to become king?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure on the answer on that one right now.
It was God, because Israel was so wicked that they wanted a king like the foreigner nations, the heathens. The heathens had kings.
All right, that's in the book of Judges, right?
Right. So that check this out.
Yeah, when they asked for a king because
right. But bro, listen, that was a bad thing. God is our king.
Right.
Like, these guys don't want God. They want to be like the heathens. They want a man to be placed over them like the heathens. We got God who can do anything. Man is limited. So the heathens had a man. We got God, but we don't want God. We want a man. So God said, all right. So he gave us Saul. So now, after Saul, the next king was King David, right?
Right.
Okay, and after King David, it was Solomon, right?
Time.
Okay, brother, do you know that the only kings to rule all of Israel were Saul, King David, and Solomon? That was it. So I'll say it one more time. I know you're busy. I'm going to make this short.
Yeah, what you say it again, King?
Okay, so brother, the only three kings to rule all of Israel was Saul, King David, and Solomon. Nobody else.
Right.
Okay, so after Solomon, Rehoboam only ruled Judah. And then you had the king of Israel, who ruled, over there, the northern kingdom. Bro, now watch this. Jesus Christ was the only king actually be born king. No, every king was a man before he became king. Jesus Christ was the only king to be born king. No king was born king, bro. No king. You can't name one that was born king. So even Jesus Christ's kingship was different than man. Nothing about him was man. We had stars following Jesus. That happened with no other king. No king had stars following him. Like the three wise men found Jesus Christ because of the stars. What king had stars following him? Nobody. So everything about Jesus, everything was miraculous. Nothing was normal. He's the only king born king. Come. Yeah, I got my
Hello, you still there?
yeah. So I want you to hear that Jesus is the only king that was born king. Every king besides Jesus was appointed king in their uh, uh, adulthood. Like no king was ever born king. Nobody, because Solomon was not supposed to be the king. It was Adonijah, whatever his name is. He was supposed to be king. Solomon took it from him.
Right. You right on that, brother. You right.
Right. So I'm just pointing out that nothing about Jesus was normal. Everything about him was miraculous. Even how he became king. All right, give me a second. Let me put him. Give me 1 second. Let me put him to sleep. Give me 1 second. He is acting a fool. I'm back. Are you there?
Con, I'm here, King.
All right. So, brother, nothing about Jesus was normal. All right. Nothing about him. So, like, there's a misconception that he was supposed to like lead us by example. No, not us in the flesh. Paul talks about 1 Corinthians 15 that you must take on your spiritual body, and brother, that's after you die. That's why
Right, I
Jesus.
agree with that.
That's why he's called the first of the first fruits. So it wouldn't make sense for him to have a physical father when he was there before all of mankind. And if you look at Galatians 4:4, it said God sent his son. So that's God's son. That's not man's son. That's God's son before mankind was even thought of. So God sent him made of a woman. It doesn't say made of a man. He was sent through the womb of a woman. She was impregnated and she was delivered. And he was always known as, at least to the angels and those in the know, he was always known as, the son of God. So human beings called him other things because they didn't know any better. But when he asked Peter, who do you say I am? Okay, you told me who men say I am, but who do you say I am? And Peter answered, you are the son of God. And he blessed Peter. And then he said, only the most high only my father could have told you this. He said, flesh and blood didn't know. So Jesus Christ told Peter, he said, flesh and blood did not know that I was the son of God. This is why they call me this, they call me John the Baptist. They call me Elijah the prophet. They call me the son of Joseph. They call me all these different terms, these different titles, but nobody called me the son of God besides you and a couple of demons. Because even demons knew him as the son of God. So Peter was blessed because he was like one of the very few. You got a couple of Gentiles recognize him as the son of God, but and the Messiah. But most people didn't. Most Israelites did not know who the hell he was his entire walk. So that's all I had. I'm ready to. I know you busy. I'm about to be busy, so I'm about to. What I mean, it is Father's Day, so I'm about to just do my thing. So, Laura's willing, we will connect later when we're both not having a Father's Day moment. You dig? And we can like have a better dialogue where we're like both, present. So to everybody, I'm gonna end this one right now, and we will, probably talk maybe later tonight or next weekend. And have a great day. So I'm still here. I'm still here. Give me a second. 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 Hey, Tone G. Hey, look, I'm gonna put a link in here because I'm not done. I want to talk about Umar Johnson crazy ass. Matter of fact, let me close this live out, and I'm gonna start a new live because I want to talk about Umar Johnson had like a debate about schools and black women and black men, and it was very interesting. So I'm gonna close this live out. Then I'm gonna start a new live where we're talking about Umar Johnson. So let me close this one out. So just